What's up, guys? I have returned as promised. Sorry it took so long. Like I said before, it'd be kind of hard sometimes trying to do this and working. I just did like a 12-hour shift last night. Or, yeah, about last night. I actually went in around noon yesterday, and I you know worked from 12 noon to 12 midnight. So, I was still able to wake up, so that's good. Woke up probably maybe about an hour ago, and I knew I had to get this video together. So, I'm gonna get started in a few minutes. But first thing I wanted to say was, I'm not saying that he hasn't done this, but for the first time, I actually saw Jerry Adadero's father being interviewed by another fellow YouTuber. I think his name is Zebulon something. Hold on, give me 1 second here. I'll tell you exactly what to go, just in case anybody wants to check it out. It was very informative. When I saw it, I was like, wow, that was pretty interesting. His name is okay, I'm gonna have to go to the page itself. I thought the name would be up there because I just saved the video. So, welcome. Okay, the YouTuber, his name is Zebulon Rogers, and he actually interviewed Jerry Adadero's father. And give me 1 second here. And this is his father right here. This is Jerry Adadero's father, Alan Atadero, today. And I'm not saying that the information that they would put out in his book, I believe Jerry Atadero was in, I believe he was in this book, Sobering Coincidence. I think, if not, well, actually this book was centered around college kids, so it was in the other book that I got, the first one that I bought, and it covers some extensive information on his case and weirdness around the case and all the weird stuff. But to hear it from the actual father was very, very, very impactful, because a lot of the things that you was able to hear about or read about, he said, but it was a little bit more, I won't say a little bit more detailed, but it was just really cool to hear from him. And I mean, I hope that one day, if I ever get to that point, I can interview some of the parents of the missing. But he actually showed his clothing that they found 500 feet up in the Puder area where they were located. He showed the sweater that he wore that day, the sweatpants, and the shoes, and the cranium. Now, he also said that when they used the tooth, and sent it out for some type of DNA scanning, he said he couldn't even get the tooth back to send it to someone else because they destroyed it. And the guy that he sent the reports to another person that he knew, and as a matter of fact, the guy that did the report on the DNA for the tooth, he actually covered the Kobe Bryant case, and this was located in Colorado. And he said that there was like 3 consecutive DNAs on that tooth. So who these people were, they don't know, because like the evidence was just inconclusive. There was nothing they could do at that point. Now, who the DNA from these other 2 people? Excuse me. It makes me wonder who these people are, or what those things are. I don't know. But they said that there was really nothing they can do. And, so, and like I said, the tooth was destroyed after all that. I guess they had to break it apart to get on the inside and all kinds of stuff, and it was just turned into like rubbish or rubble. But yeah, it was a very, very, very interesting interview. And he basically told you everything from his point of view, and how At one point, there were some medvacs, speeding down the roadway, trying to get to a certain point. And that's when he found out that the helicopter that was searching for his son had actually crashed. And now there are a lot of cases where they say that helicopters that are looking for the missing person actually crashes in the area, and it happens all the time. So the question is, what is making these helicopters crash? Could it be some sort of unknown interference, or like some kind of energy that I don't know, somehow clogs the navigation system on the helicopter? We don't know, but it seems to happen a lot in a lot of these cases when they're trying to find someone. It's just crazy. And the crazy part is, like, when he was bringing in all these people to help look for his son, like the ones that had cadaver dogs and stuff like that, the sheriff's department or whoever was in charge would not let these people pass until someone had to threaten the sheriff to go to the media about that. So that obviously these people were not there for the same reason. They were not there to find his child. They were probably trying to find out what it was that took him. So if you're gonna sit up there and have one set of people looking for that child and another set of people who are looking for something else and not telling nobody what they're looking for, then there's something wrong with this picture. So one of the guys who had dogs to help look for the boy grabbed the sheriff by the arm, pulled him away, and told him that if we're not here for the same reason, which is to find that boy, I'm going to the media and let them know that you would not let me up there into those mountains. So he didn't want to cause this media uproar trying to find Jerry Adadero, so he let him pass. So just the fact that had to happen, and how he had to be threatened in order for them to get through there, that's just some crazy stuff. But the interview was very, very interesting. I think I watched it about 3 times. Because he was just that informative, and the fact that how emotional he was when he actually held up his son's skull, the top of his cranium, and you see all these little cuts in it like squares, because they had to do an extensive DNA test to confirm the fact that skull belonged to Jerry Adadero, and the fact that that's all they found. So whatever took his son, practically it devoured the entire body, just like I said in my last video about Jerry Adadero. And they scooped out all the brain matter, the brain itself, and whatever else was left. And I'm pretty sure, animals and bugs probably got to it as well. There might have been some brain matter left inside the cranium, but it was like a clean piece of skull, that they found 500 feet up into the mountains in that area. So it was some strange stuff, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead on and get to today's story. Today's story is about Michael Hartnett. He went missing on 10/05/2014 at 2 a.m. in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Okay, but first I'm going to do my usual read on this. Give me 1 second here. That's what I like to do, before every video. That way, it'll kind of start everything off. One of my videos up here. Okay. I always like what I always say in the beginning. I want everybody to join me and become intrigued as I case read 411 baffling unsolved cases of hundreds of people from clusters all over the globe who mysteriously vanished without a trace and are either never found again or are never seen again, or they are found hundreds of miles away from their last known location, deceased, dead, or just gone. But anyway, okay, this was, like I said, in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Okay, he was 18 years old when he disappeared. Now, Michael Hartnett was from Dearborn Heights, Michigan. He was a well-rounded person. Many people stated that he had friends who were athletes, musicians, and academics. He graduated from high school with several advanced placement credits and chose to attend Wayne State University in Detroit. On October 4th, 2014, Michael traveled to Mount Pleasant to visit friends and enjoy their homecoming weekend. He spent time with friends on campus, drinking and having fun. Late Saturday night, one of the friends dropped him in an area near the campus called the Towers. Michael told him that he was meeting other friends there, and they separated. At 1:30 a.m., one of Michael's friends tried to text him asking him where he was located. He didn't receive an answer. One woman reported that she saw Michael at 1:30 a.m. near St. Mary's Catholic Church on campus, and tried to call him a cab, but he couldn't walk or talk. Wow. Okay. It was not explained why she didn't call the police due to the state of being due to his state of being unable to care for himself. On October 5th, 2014, friends of Michael became concerned as nobody had seen him. They called jails and hospitals in the region, and then notified his family. At approximately 2:20 p.m., Central Michigan University police received a call from Michael's father reporting him as a missing person. The police didn't waste any time organizing a search and checking the status of Michael's cell phone. Let's see. The phone company reported that the cell phone had last contacted a tower near 2 a.m. 2 a.m. That morning in the area of St. Mary's. A group of students and searchers went to the region surrounding the church. A group of Michael's friends arrived at the church at approximately 4 p.m. and began walking around the Fabiano Botanical Garden, the Fabiano Botanical Garden pond in the vicinity of the church. One of the friends saw a body face down in the pond and jumped in, attempting to save Michael. He couldn't grab the motionless body, and it apparently sank to the bottom. Yeah. Isabella County Sheriff's dive team was summoned. At 7 p.m., Michael's body was found at the bottom of the pond. The coroner took custody of the body and rendered a decision that Michael died from accidental drowning. It should be stated that he was an insulin-dependent diabetic, a condition that has existed in several people I have written about. There are only 2 cases in this book that involve the disappearance of Wayne State students, and both were not on the campus when they disappeared. King Bruno went missing 52 days after Michael vanished. Is it mere coincidence that both Wayne State students vanished just 52 days apart? I could not find a mention of Michael's toxicology results. Yeah, that is kind of strange how all of a sudden he couldn't walk or talk, and I guess that might have been due to the fact that he was a diabetic, and he didn't have enough insulin in his body. He probably didn't have the insulin he needed to shoot into his system either at the time when he was out there, hanging out with his friends. And the fact that the guy, one of his friends, couldn't pull his body out of the pond, that part to me didn't make any sense. It was almost like somebody was holding on to the body as he was trying to pull it out. and then all of a sudden he just sinks to the bottom. And once again, just like all the other cases, he was found face down. And in almost every single case dealing with a young man found near a body of water, they're always face down, whether they're in a river or they're near a body of water, period. Now, they didn't mention the fact that he was partially clothed. They just said he was found in the river. So the one thing I've noticed about a lot of these cases in this book is that most of the time it's not mentioned that the body was found face down. Most of the time it's not mentioned that the body is partially clothed with just nothing but the underwear on or socks. Now, that last story I read, I believe maybe one or two stories ago, it did mention that a young man was found with nothing but his socks on. So he was basically naked with just nothing but socks on. Okay, but it doesn't happen all the time in these books. It's either mentioned or it's not mentioned. And the fact that the coroner just came out with a result saying that he died of accidental drowning it's almost like he didn't even do a toxicology report or do an autopsy report. He just looked at the body and realized that it was strange and that he didn't want to touch it, so he just said accidental drowning. So I'm thinking that might be what it is. A lot of the coroners don't, when they see something that is not right about the body and what they find, when the body's recovered, they don't want to touch it. Now, Jerry Atadero's father, Alan Atadero, said the same thing when he took the information to what do you call those people? I forgot the term that the guy used where they study bones and stuff like that. It's kind of like I can't think of it. But anyway, he did say that he took it to a woman who was an expert in that field where they study bones and stuff like that, and she was coming up with all these theories as to why the skull was found where it was found. There was he was talking about certain scratches that were found on the skull's edge, like where it was separated from the body, or the other part of the skull. It was she was saying that it comes from it being sent downriver, and hitting up against rocks and stuff like that, or it could be the erosion from the water where it beat up against it for so many times. And when he told her that, she was coming up with all these theories, and he was basically telling her from what the findings on the skull and everything, she couldn't come up with an answer after that. And then she said the reason why it was found 500 feet up is because at one time or another the canyon had flooded. I was like, okay, there was no report of a canyon flooding up to 500 feet above the canyon floor. Okay, if that did happen, that happened like billions of years ago during the Prezozoic area. So after that, she said, let me talk to one of my guys and I'll get back with you. She never called him back after that. And he said that a lot of people that wanted to help him, they want to help him, but once the evidence turns into the weird, or the findings turn into something very weird, that it just, I won't say it freaks them out, but it gets so weird that they don't want to touch it after that. And David Paulides has said that in pretty much every single book. Once the evidence gets weird, and they get somebody in that wants to help, and they can't, it's like they freak out, and after that they don't want to do anything else about it. They don't want to touch it, So it's like it's going into another realm of impossibility that they know it's just gonna get too weird. And I'm saying to myself, that should be the reason why you should want to help out, because it's a weird case, and the fact that Jerry Atadero's parents were turned inside out. Now, there's no known animal on this planet that will turn the pants inside out. It's like his pants were being pulled off of him by the buckle part of the pants, and they was yanked off. And because when you do that and you pull them off, you pulling them from that part, and it's going to do that. It's going to turn the pants inside out until they come off. So, but just the simple fact that the pants were found inside out mean that somebody pulled his pants off. Somebody got their boy naked so that they can eat the boy. or not somebody, but or something actually, because they ate everything from the feet all the way up to the top of the cranium. They scooped out the brain and everything else that may have had anything to do with it, and it was completely cleaned out. It was almost like someone took a hose and just washed out all the blood and whatever else that was inside, and they cleaned off the skull too. So the only thing that was left was the skull, the skull cap. You know, it is just that weird. Something was very thorough in killing that boy. And he also said that he had a really heavy dream, like after they found his clothing and his cranium and the tooth. He had an intense dream where his son came to him in a dream. He wasn't wearing his shirt. They found it there, the sweater that he was wearing, but in the dream he wasn't wearing it. He was just wearing everything else. And he was like, he said, "Okay, Daddy, I'm okay." He said, "I love you, Daddy. I'm okay. I just want to let you know I'm okay." Then he started getting all these other situations where he was in the store with his twin brother, and a pile of towels fell on top of him. And it was like, man, that was weird. And his brother said that, well, that's okay. That was just Jared messing with us. And he said there was another situation where he was in, because he was a school teacher, and I think there was a radio being played somewhere in the room, or they was in the gym, and the music just came on one of the radios. And he said, "How did it happen?" And Alan was like, "Don't worry about it. You know, that was all for me. That was just for me." And they kept trying to figure out what was wrong. So when some of the kids went into the room where the radio was playing, and they said there was nobody in there. They said, "I told you, don't worry about it. That was for me and me only." All right. And in another thing, he had wrote a poem dedicated to his son, and he said that when he sent it to his mom, she said there was a series of numbers on there, and the numbers were 8, 2, 1, and 7. Now, if you look at the 8th letter in the alphabet, and the 21st letter in the alphabet, and the 7th letter in the alphabet, when you find those letters, it spells H-U-G, hug. So Jared Adedero all those times was communicating with him and just saying, he's giving him a hug that way. It was weird but very touching. And he got emotional a lot in the video, especially when he held up his son's skull cap. And that's all that was found of his boy. The skull cap and a tooth in his clothing. And like I said before in my video about Jared Adedero, when they found the shoe had been in the elements for at least 4 years, and it looked like it just came off the showroom floor. It was completely clean. So it should have been some dirt. The clothing was buried a little bit under leaves and a lot of brush, but the tooth wasn't. It was like someone purposely placed it on top of a log. So yeah, very, very weird story. And the fact that I was able to actually hear Alan Atadero, talk about his son, that was very touching. That was a very touching interview. I'm glad I got a chance to see that. I never knew or never thought in a million years that he would actually be interviewed by anybody else other than the Missing 411 movie, because he was in that movie. Because his son was in the story about his son was in the book. So I hope that brings some light to anyone that may have wondered about a lot of the things in the case. Even though you read the story in the book, but it was a little bit more extensive when I saw that, because you was hearing it from his point of view, so that was even better. But yeah, so that's all I got on that story. I will be returning with another one. The next story is going to be about Ken Gruno. He was also from Michigan. So that's going to be the topic on my next stories. And as usual, I am here to serve my YouTubers and all my subscribers. And I'm like I said before, I just want to thank you guys again for the subscriptions, and I'm going to be glad that you guys like what I do, and I enjoy educating people on these situations and what's going on with these cases. And as usual, I will be returning with more. So yeah, I don't have nothing to worry about. And like I said, I apologize once again for the wait. Like I said, there's been a lot going on, between working and being tired and just family stuff and all that stuff. So, but I will still, I will always make sure that I continue with the video, so you don't have nothing to worry about. So, always imparting. Aloha, mahalo, and hui ho. Peace out, guys. Be safe and have a great day. It's very sunny where I am, so I hope it's sunny where you are, and I hope it's a very beautiful day. So, peace out, guys.